So wait a moment. Did a theory just get confirmed? So Nasubi knows everything and he agrees to it? So did Beyond, during his verbal sparring with Furikov, just confirm that Nasubi knows about Beyond's offspring and the curse he placed on them? He specifically says, I think he will be on my side because I'm helping the succession war proceed smoothly. Again, I believe Nasubi has knowledge about Beyond's curse, as well as his child among the princes. He's taking a risk and taking advantage of the situation in order to increase the reward of the succession ritual and make the next king even stronger. Some sort of deity? I don't know. And do you want the hints? The succession war is limited to every queen's children. He voluntarily allowed Beyond's child to participate in the ritual. Now, let's analyze Beyond's statements. According to Furikov, he mostly tells half-truths and half-lies. So let's try to figure out the nature of every claim he makes. Yes, you heard it right. I'm going full nerd mode here. So the curse is supposed to help progress the succession war and Kakin's prosperity. I think this is true because Beyond plans to make his own son win, thus ending the war successfully and ensuring the prosperity of Kakin, well, through a new king, but this time a just king, a righteous king, a king that he can control so that he can turn Kakin into a democratic nation. Now the lie. This curse will help Prince Benjamin. Well, this is clearly a lie, because Queen Nunma, who knows Beyond, and most likely shares the same goal, knew that Furikov's curse holds a negative consequence for Prince Benjamin. Or she bluffed? Less likely. Beyond also purposely lies here to figure out Furikov's ability and intellect, and he learns something about both of those traits. So Beyond figures out from this lie that Furikov is extremely intelligent, and he also figures out that his ability allows him to analyze other abilities. So then he mentions that the curse activates when Furikov dies, which we already know is true, and the Nen after death purpose is also meant to kill a specific prince, which I think is also partially true. It could also mean to weaken him to the point of death by terminating his Nen beast. It won't harm you until you die. Also true. It activates for every prince that put his hands on the jar. Also true. The significance of this sentence points to Prince Woble, as we confirm that she has a curse pointing at her. So Beyond truly knows Prince Benjamin's abilities, so he lies again by asking Furikov to die to help Prince Benjamin. Through this lie, Beyond learns that Furikov cannot figure out if he's lying or telling the truth with his ability. Beyond is playing Furikov like a fiddle, masterfully taking all the information he needs about him without providing any important information in return. At this point, I think the main fight of this batch of chapters will be Kurapika versus Beyond verbal class. I mean, I have no idea who comes out on top of that. It will be crazy. Then, Beyond says he won't mention the details. Again, this guy's only giving away information that won't make a difference. Furikov goes into deep thoughts, but when he uses his notebook ability to analyze Beyond's curse, he is shocked. 1 year to analyze the details and 3 months to create the countermeasure? This is unbelievable. Just how strong is this curse? For the first time we see Furikov in disarray. During this lapse in communication, Beyond figures out that Furikov's ability didn't work. Like, is this guy for real? Beyond already looks like the smartest character we have seen so far, apart from maybe Jin. So he says that the strength of the curse is unparalleled because it stayed with Furikov for 20 years. Again, I think that's true. We also had numerous cases mentioning how strong this curse is. Now we see Furikov's morals, and they fit perfectly with the brotherhood mentality of Benjamin's army. He hates Beyond because he uses everyone. Then Beyond taunts him by saying that he is a pawn of Benjamin, and Furikov becomes furious. Prince Benjamin lives for a higher purpose, a good purpose related to the well-being of an entire empire. Don't compare yourself to him, he says. So after witnessing this kind of loyalty, Beyond is actually humbled and impressed, and due to the respect he holds for Benjamin's faction, he spells some truth about the ritual. Apparently the only way for the succession war to succeed is for only one to remain alive. But there are many possible outcomes, just as Kurapika mentioned. So we get confirmation about that, and I think Beyond again here is not lying. Beyond then mentions that he holds significant respect towards Benjamin's faction, mainly due to their absence from the infamous carnival. Lastly, he urges Furikov to make good use of this curse. In his last words to Furikov, I believe he's 100% honest. I think this carnival incident has left a mark on him. We know it's vicious and hellish, but what does Beyond have to do with it? Was he forced to participate? Or does he have connections with the survivors? Maybe a connection with Morena Prudo? Like, this is interesting to say the least. I'm very curious to see how this will play out. But to sum it up, it is really wonderful to see Beyond acknowledging the camaraderie and the stoic nature of Benjamin's faction. Togashi really makes us like Benjamin before he kills him off, right? And he clearly shows us a good side of Beyond. Finally, Furikov figures out that the target of his curse is one of the first 8 princes, and we see on his computer the sign of the tree of Kakin. Man, this guy's just so loyal. Now we change topics and timeline. We are 25 minutes before martial law takes effect. Oito explains to Kurapika the mechanics of sending a message through the delivery service Yuzuria. Man, and when I see Oito's hair like this, I can't stop thinking that they resemble Beyond's. Kurapika is having second thoughts about the mail, as it could cause them a lot of trouble if the encrypted message gets discovered during the inspection, and after some deep thinking, he makes a proposal to Queen Oito that straddles her, but we don't get to see Kurapika's proposal. It probably has to do with the content of the message. At the end of the day, they decide to send it, so who knows? We will find out. 25 minutes later, martial law has been declared. Kovendoba thinks his bad luck is related to Zhang coin. Then we see Tserednich, unfazed, rocking the balloon pants, a clear sign of an Nen master. He has finally transitioned, man. I can feel it. I always had this thought in the back of my head that Tserednich would forget all about his vicious ways as he became fixated on Nen. A true Nen master, if you like. Well, I don't think this guy will ever stop, to be honest. He looks like he's in a trance of learning though. Maybe we get some character development? Because if not, he's becoming the #1 public threat. So Tubeppa and Tyson are going to Benjamin's room as he suggested. Luzurus, or should I say Halkenburg, is missing. I mean, I believe he's Halkenburg. In the previous chapter, we see him change personalities while he was supposedly asleep. Then he asks to get rid of the drugs. Like, would Lazarus ever do that? And before that, he asks for water. Maybe to take the sleeping pill? Well, who knows? But the highlight of the chapter, the first battle between Hunters and Benjamin's army, gets off-screened. Of course. But still, it goes to the Hunters, as Ridge, our favorite rapper, laid some good hits on Kanjidol. Kanjidol doesn't seem stressed at all though. Was this all planned? Did he know he was doomed and couldn't get away, so he decided to get captured? It's actually interesting. Anyways, he's convinced they can turn this around in court or something? Yeah, probably. So Prince Fugetsu is not leaving, and Prince Marayan will also stay behind. So according to Bisky, his spirit beast won't be able to reconstruct the Nen space, since it's such a complicated and broken move. But most importantly, Bisky is ready to throw some hands, baby! Getting like, oh. Then we cut back to Kurapika, where Babimya explains that since this is not the real Prince Woble, the baby's presence is not needed, and Queen Oito will be detained in this room on charges of treason against Kakin. Apparently, they cannot hurt her yet in any way, since she might be the next mother of the king if Woble wins. So as long as Woble is in the game, she stays alive. And lastly, Kurapika figures out that something more important must have happened for martial law to activate than the reveal of Prince Woble's absence. Now let's move on to my predictions for the next chapters. First and foremost, all hell is going to break loose in Benjamin's room. Princess will die, for sure. I think Tyson is already at death's door, and maybe to Beppa. Since we still need her for her alliance, maybe not, but who will help her actually if something bad happens? I'm very curious to see how this unfolds. So I believe the whole thing with the fake Woble and Kurapika is for Woble to avoid participating in this meeting. I don't think it will last much longer. My theory is that Prince Woble is on the ship for sure, and if I had to go even further, I would say that she was never swapped, and it's just her Nen Beast acting. But we're surely going to see Bisky in action, man. I cannot wait, I cannot wait. Okay, so what does Kurapika actually mean? When he's talking about Oito's sister, and that she has to deal with 2 hunters. Is he actually talking about Killua and Gon? That there is no way they're coming back. There is no way they're coming! I have no idea. But I don't think they will. Like, Woble is on the ship, like, for sure. There is no way she's not. It will get revealed soon enough from Beyond or Nasubi. Well, that's all, folks. Insane chapter with a lot of information. Furikov is becoming the best soldier so far. So if you have any ideas or predictions on what's going to happen, feel free to write them down on the comments. So thanks again for watching. Peace out!